This show is made possible by support from landsharks.ca. Visit them for all your coin and swag needs at www.landsharks.ca. And by viewers like you. Thank you for your donations.
Caching in LA, caching in Oregon, and birthday parties. It's October 30th, 2010. This is Trackfiles. Hi there, and welcome to Trackfiles. I'm your host, Icenrye. Trackfiles is a podcast featuring caching news, major milestones, upcoming events, equipment reviews, and YouTube videos. My website is trackfiles.tv. My email address is icenrye@com. You can follow me on Twitter at Trackfiles, and if you're a fan of the show, make sure you sign up for the Trackfiles Facebook fan page. So, what's new? Well, here in the Prince George area, they've come out with a whole bunch of new caches recently. Most of them are dedicated to a former local cacher named Malibu, who's since moved on to Kamloops. So all you down there in the Kamloops area, look out for Malibu. He's quite the cacher. He is by far has the highest number of finds here in the Prince George area, and he's one of those that likes to hide caches in places where you have to walk uphill to and from the cache. Yes, his caches are quite legendary around here, and if you're down in the Kamloops area, watch out for Malibu. He's quite the cacher. So hey, Craig, I hope things are going well for you down in your new home in Kamloops, and stay in touch. You know how to get a hold of me. But that's about it for small talk. Let's get into some caching news. So first the news, well, we're going to do a couple of milestones. First off, local cacher here in Prince George, PG Geodude, just had his 500th find on the anniversary of him getting into caching. Kevin, congratulations, and here's another 500, and another 500, and another 500, and so on, and so on, and so on. Congratulations, 500? Yeah, heck, you're just warming up. Also, major milestone, a very big milestone, because technically this only happens once in a lifetime. But Darren Osborne, better known as Spin Doc Bob, host of Geotalk down in the land down under, got married this weekend. Darren, congratulations to you and your bride, Renee. Hope you have a great life together. So another caching news, recently a major podcast called The Totally Rad Show on the Revision 3 network had an entire episode dedicated to caching. And they went after two caches, both in the Los Angeles area. And the main cache they featured was called the Old Lunchbox. It hasn't been found since 2009. And I'll have links to where you can download the episode on my website at trackfiles.tv. But in the meantime, let's take a quick peek at this episode.
Yeah. 0.15 miles ahead, roughly 15 feet off the path. In the shade, I feel like I'm not sure we were on a path ever. I'm going to the hint.
But like, see here?
The hint is peak 2 of 3 under the tree.
Peak 2 of 3. That's gotta be here. First of all, Mike, you gotta see this view. Yeah, dude. Look at this. I mean, we were in Los Angeles, and now we're in the freaking Middle Earth. We're in Albion.
That's peak 3 right there. This was that.
Does make more sense that it would be 1, 2, 3.
So there you go, geocaching featured in a fairly prominent podcast. So make sure you check it out. I'll have links on my website. So next we go to one of my favorite GPS stores here in Canada, GPSCity, located in Calgary, where they just recently came out with a great tutorial on how to program your Garmin Chirp chip. Now I know a lot of these are still fairly new. I haven't even seen one myself, but from what I've read, from what I've heard about these chips, they're going to do great things for a sport of caching. And again, we're just going to roll a little bit of this tutorial on how to program your Chirp chip. Try saying that one 10 times. And again, I'll have links on my website at trackfiles.tv.
Good day, Jesse here with GPSCity. I have the Garmin Chirp. This is a great new device. It's actually a geocaching beacon, so it's going to send data wirelessly to your GPS receiver about the geocache that you're looking for, and that's going to happen within 10 meters of the geocache if properly installed. It's going to make finding the geocache a lot easier, and also it's going to spur a lot of new ideas. So what I'm going to do is show you what's in the package. So in the package itself, you're going to find the Chirp device. You're also going to find a Velcro little round tab here. It's got 3M adhesive on both sides and then it peels apart being Velcro. And then a CR2032 battery, which you could purchase extras from GPSCity because this is only going to last about a year. In Canada, it's going to last a little less because our winters are a little colder.
So it looks like these Chirp chips are really great little devices, and I'm looking forward to trying them myself. Of course, that also means there may be a Oregon 450 in my future. Anyway, let's get on with more caching news. So for our next news article, we go down to Nebraska where we read in the Grand Island Independent. Geocaching proves to be fun exercise for St. Libory students. First came the education, then came the fun, accompanied by lots of physical exercise. St. Libory teacher Adriana Davis and St. Libory physical education teacher Tyler Stricker created a cross-disciplinary lesson plan to help 7th and 8th grade students to use the Scarecrow patch to learn the principles of cardinal directions and compasses, latitude and longitude, and map skills. And those lessons apply to academic discipline geography. Essentially what they've done is set up a maze in a corn patch and the kids have to navigate their way through. Now, I've had many articles on this, but it's really great to see caching rolling into the educational system and people using our sport, our game, our, as some would say, obsession, to learn further life skills. Again, I'll have articles on my website. Check it out. Great article. Next, we move to Michigan, to Ann Arbor, where we read in annarbor.com. Waymarking, an international and local database of points of interest. Waymarking.com is an international database of points of interest around the globe. The site has collected, as of this writing, 278,267 separate locations, each with precise coordinates, a photo or two, and a brief description. Entries are categorized into one of 1,000 categories, each of which has been created in response to user interests. The collection of waymarking photos near Ann Arbor includes enough interesting and unusual documentation of the local landscape to merit further exploration. There are photos in hundreds of categories with notes on any numbers of places worth a visit. So it's been a while since anybody's talked about waymarking. It's sort of the lost cousin to caching. But for those of you who are really new to the sport, waymarking has taken over from where we used to have what were called virtual caches. And the object behind a virtual cache is you're given a set of coordinates, and instead of looking for a box, you look for a statue or a sign, take your picture in front of said object, and send in certain information. Groundspeak basically shut those down a couple years ago and moved a lot of them over to the waymarking category. And again, I'll have links to my website. Check out waymarking. I've done a little bit of it myself. It can be actually quite a lot of fun. GPS tourism, basically. Caching, well, having to look for those silly little boxes all the time. Well, that about wraps it up for news. Let's check out this episode's YouTube video. So recently I heard that regular viewer and good friend down in Oregon, Pablo Mac, had come out with a new video on YouTube. As soon as I heard that, I knew how to feature it here on Trackfiles. So ladies and gentlemen, presenting Pablo Mac's Mystery Geocaching Adventure #1.
Hi, I'm Pablo Mac. We are on Pablo Mac's Geocaching Adventure #1, invitation only. Getting ready to hike up to Carpenter Mountain. Can't see much from here for now. That'll change soon.
Yo, I'm Dominator78.
I'm Tim G3.
I'm James for Jesus. And I'm Pablo Mac, and we're here to find the Carpenter Mountain Lookout cache. Stay safe or keep on caching. Hey, I'm Pablo Mac. We're up here on Carpenter Mountain Lookout. This geocache hadn't been found for a couple of years. You'll see in the background behind me, Wolf Rock, James for Jesus, and I climbed that about 15 months ago. And it's hard to appreciate how big and tall and steep that mountain is from up here. Believe me, that is the trickiest train I've ever been on. It's nice to see Wolf Rock from this perspective, from which we saw both this lookout and Iron Mountain, which is to the north of us about 8 miles from here. So it's kind of neat to have been on all 3 of these mountains now. Kind of cool adventure. This to me is what geocaching is all about. Getting in the middle of nowhere with some good buddies, getting some good hiking, some good views, and finding a cool cache way out in the middle of nowhere. This is worth 100 LPCs to me. I'm Pablo Mac, and that's just the way it is. Stay safe or keep on caching.
I'm not sure how to get down the hill.
I just showed you. Fall.
Just slide.
Just get started.
There's a rock. Can you see what happens?
Problem with your pants?
Yeah. Is there a problem with that?
Bend over and spread them.
So, those are just a few highlights from this video, and as usual, I'll have links on my website at trackfiles.tv. Alright folks, pack your bags. Time for this episode's geocaching events. Alright, so for this episode's geocaching events, all these events are scheduled for Saturday, November 6th, 2010. First off, we start right here in the province of British Columbia, actually just 6 hours south of here, in the great area of Kamloops, where we have Nenner's 40th Birthday Bash, an event cached by Womantracker. From there we go just east of Edmonton for the 10-year anniversary of Alberta geocaching by mwellman. And from there we drop due south to Montana for the Miles City Meet and Greet #1 by Tech Hound. So those are just 3 of the many events scheduled for next Saturday, November 6th. And as usual, make sure you check out the geocaching website for an event cache in your area. Also, if you have an upcoming caching event you want it featured here on Trackfiles, email me, geoicenrye@icenrye.com. So now that you have your bags packed, let's find you some good caching and podcasts to listen to. Time for Poddcast Rewind. Time for a Poddcast Rewind. This past week in geocaching podcasts. We start off with Cache Maniacs, where Daryl and Dree interview the Weeks. They talk about climbing the Pikes Peak incline and the biggest thing they'd never heard of. From there we go to the Geocaching Podcast, where they talk about Lawrence announcing their new Baja Off-Road Navigation GPSR. From there we go all the way to the Land of Wonder and the Land Down Under, where we visit with Spin Doc Bob, who, before his wedding, in Geotalk, talks about they track down a travel bug hiding in the US, they pick apart Garmin's latest geocaching offering, and they discover Australia's most verbose logger. So again, I'll have links to all these podcasts on my website. Make sure you check them out. They make for some great listening. Well, that about wraps it up for this episode of Trackfiles. But before I go, just a couple quick notes. First off, shout out to Landsharks for the continuing sponsorship of Trackfiles. Make sure you visit them for all your coin and swag needs at landsharks.ca. I'd also like to thank the viewers who contribute financially to this podcast. Folks, without your contribution, Trackfiles would not be possible. If you would like to contribute to the podcast, it's very easy. Just visit my website at trackfiles.tv and look for the PayPal buttons on the right side menu, where you can contribute $10, $5 a month, or any contribution you so desire. Now at this current time, I am looking at upgrading some of my audio equipment, so any contributions you can make to the podcast would be greatly appreciated. But in the meantime, and in between time, that's it. Another episode of Trackfiles I hope you enjoyed. So until the next episode, cache on.